Welcome to the Josh and Erik Show. I'm Erik.
And I'm Josh.
I'm Larry.
So today, guys, we have a really special guest. This is Josh's grandpa. I know we gave you a little bit of a warning that this was going to come today, but I'm pretty excited. I know him, but just not as well, obviously, as Josh. And there's going to be a lot of fun stories today he's going to share. And Josh, you want to take it from here and kind of introduce him?
So, obviously, Josh and Erik Show, we're all about bringing on people that been there, done that. So my grandpa is 91 years old from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Just found out a second ago he's not from Tulsa. He's from Broken Arrow. Right? And he started out as a school teacher, worked his way through his school and was a college athlete and became school teacher, and then he became an entrepreneur and has 3 kids and many grandkids, and I'm one of them. He's 91 years old, and I wanted to bring him on because not only is it neat to have him on our show, but he's super special to me. He's somebody that I really kind of focused my time in on. I spent a lot of time with him, and he kind of shaped me to who I am today, along with my parents and many others, but he was a big influence in my life, and I wanted to bring him on my show and tell his story because it's a neat one in my opinion. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Josh. I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you a story that you probably won't believe, but I went to college. I went to Union High School, 61st and Mingo. And I graduated from there. I lived on a farm, milk cows, kill hogs, kill cattle, and lived on a farm. And Dad died when I was 10, and Mother raised 3 kids. She worked 2 jobs. One job was Sunray DX. The other job, she worked at nighttime at Oaks Country Club as a receptionist. So basically, I grew up in a situation, and if I were doing it again, I wouldn't change many things because everything seemed to fall in place. But I want to tell you here, at the time it happened, I thought that things weren't too good. I was middle child of 3 kids. My oldest brother, 2 years older than I was, he was the first child. I was the second child. And the third child was a sister 2.5 years younger than I am. Guess what? The oldest child gets everything. Some guy comes along, the second child, and the third child gets everything. Now, we live in a farm. Dad's gone, and my mother took over, and she worked 2 jobs to provide for us. We live in a 2-room shack where Target is today at 71st, and out there is where the Target is. And Dad died. Dad was had 4 dozers, and he did built lakes and terraces to handle the water. Then he died, and Mother had to get rid of it. She fought bankruptcy. But you know what was interesting? When I grew up, we did not have an 8-in tractor. And my brother and I, on 3 acres, plowed and put in popcorn. This is probably my first time that I had a chance to sell something. And what we did, we put popcorn in and went through the process of putting the popcorn in. We'd take it and turn a little deal that put it in a sack and took it to Broken Arrow and sold it to the movie theaters. That was my first time that we really we sold something. Other than that, we were...
How old were you?
12.
Wow.
Something like that.
But didn't you guys, you told me one point in time that you guys had a bunch of mules?
Yes, we had, they weren't mules. They were
Donkeys?
donkeys.
And how many of those did you have?
75.
You had 75 donkeys. And what did you do with those donkeys?
That's another story. The other story is the 8-in tractor comes in. It's a Ford tractor. those were really expensive animals, real expensive.
The 8-inch tractor or the donkey?
The donkeys. The reason why I say that is because once that 8-inch tractor came in, we sold those donkeys. I remember the mother calling, and we got a semi out there and loaded those up. There were 75 of them, and took them to back over in west of Tulsa, and they took them to the dog pound, and they made dog meat out of them.
So the 8-inch tractor coming along wiped you donkey business out.
Wiped them out.
But what did you do with the donkeys? You leased out the donkeys?
No, we used them to. They'd sell them to farmers.
Oh, you trained them.
We didn't train them.
Oh.
They would just sell some, and they'd pull the plow.
Oh, they were plow donkeys.
That's it.
10 years old, you started plowing fields with your brother, right? And you started putting popcorn, and then you started selling that. So you started your entrepreneurship ways at 10 years old, but you've seen your parents, from your mom selling donkeys and working 2 jobs, and your dad starting a dozer business and
Basically,
building ponds. So entrepreneurship is 3 generations deep till it even came to you.
yes, that's true. But at that time, I kind of recognized what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do the swim school because I didn't know anything about it then. But I always kind of been a pusher. I'd walk 4 miles to help a guy milk 65 head of cattle. So, because I didn't have a car, I couldn't drive a car
So
then.
for you watching this 91-year-old man has the toughest and the strongest grip of anybody I've ever held. But since I've been alive, he'd always shake people's hand, and people look at him like, God dang, what's
Bring
up?
them down to their knees.
Put him down to their knees is because he's been milking cows. Many years did you milk cows?
Oh, a long time.
What time would you have to wake up to milk those cows?
3 o'clock in the morning
And then what time would you get done?
for about 2 hours.
So it'd be done by 5, and then what was your day back in the day like that?
Well, first place, it wasn't our cows.
So you just
I'd
got
walk
paid.
home.
You walk home, 4 miles there, 4 miles back, wake up at 3. Well, heck, if you started milking at 3,
Yeah, we started milk about 3:30.
so you tell them what it'd take you to walk 4 miles.
I don't even know.
Rain,
Sometimes
sleets.
I'd run it.
Oh, gosh.
I would have run it. Because I'd run around the section, because we got those tennis shoes. They were Converse tennis shoes, the little old bead thing. I'd walk around that 4 miles. I love to run.
You'd have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. No cars. You're running everywhere.
So you started milking those cows. How old were you when you did that?
There's about probably 14, 15.
Yeah, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine my son. I have a 11-year-old son, and if I told him he had to walk 4 miles to go milk a freaking cow, he'd look at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
At 3 o'clock in the morning,
Remember, Josh, things were different then.
Oh, I know. Things
No
are.
TVs to watch.
Yeah.
None of that.
And what would you get paid to do?
Well, okay. I'll tell you how I got paid. If I was doing hay and I was helping bale hay and load it on that sled, 5 cents a bale.
Oh, gosh.
That's how I got paid.
So, kind of fast forward, you started out in Broken Arrow. Your dad died at the age of 10, right? And your mom was holding down the job. The 8-inch tractor wiped his business out. Engineering, we talk about this all the time, being innovative. Pay attention. Things can come in. It doesn't matter if it's an 8-inch tractor or if it's AI into 2024. Pay attention to your business. There's something that can always come in and wipe you out. Be attentive. Eric and I always look at the future and think about what we could do better and what we see coming. So tractor came in, wiped the donkey business out. Then you started plowing popcorn, right? Started selling popcorn, right? All the time while you're going to school, Obviously, you were a pretty good athlete because you went to Union High School and
Played 3 sports.
played 3 sports, and then you got a scholarship at
Northeastern.
University of Northeastern University, same place Eric and I graduated from. Small town in Tahlequah, Oklahoma.
Didn't have any money.
Didn't have any money. That's where you also met Nana,
Yes.
right? And kind of a neat story. I still don't know how he got into this business, but one thing that he's done since I've been around, and I'm 36 years old, he's always taught people how to throw the football. And I don't even think you played quarterback in.
No, I played in.
You played in. So how the heck did you learn how to?
Well, our quarterback was from Bristow. He was about 6 foot tall. He could throw a rocket. If he was playing today, he'd be in the NFL. He'd throw that ball that hard. And I was so poor that I wasn't quite this poor, but he had to wash his socks every Sunday to make it because he was poor. And I was about in that same category. I didn't have anything to do. I didn't have any money. So what we did, I said, Paul, his name was Paul King, and I wanted to learn how to throw the football. I had a great arm. So every Sunday we'd go out and work on how we throw the ball.
So he's training my son, but he also has trained my brother and his son. And I don't even know how many other athletes I've been around his house. I've lived with him in the summer and lived with him throughout the years and stayed with him and flew in. How many NFL athletes have you taught?
Yeah, that's what I was curious. I mean, I've heard some stories, right? So how many famous people and how many different people have you coached?
I haven't kept track of them. I know one that probably everybody knows, Tommy Kramer. He was the starting quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, you also had many of athletes that you coached to be quarterbacks that actually went on to the NFL to become something else because they were a great athlete. They got seen being a quarterback. Zaven Collins is one of them. You had a guy in Midwest City. What was his name? He went to OSU, and then he went to
I forget about half of them.
How many college NCAA quarterbacks did you have?
Oh, a lot of them. I didn't tell you the numbers, but I don't really keep track of those kids.
Dozens.
You know, you have hard times, but you got to push through those hard times. And I remember you, Josh, when you didn't have much, and I'd come in at your house, and you'd be on that dining room table with a computer sitting in front of yourself and working what you start out doing, porta pots.
Porta potties.
If you ever want to, you'll push to get what you want. Let's go back to 59.
Oh, 59.
1959.
What is that year?
Well,
that's a specific year. He has something in mind.
When I finished college, they drafted me in the Army. Went to the Army 2 years, got out, and went to Jackson, Missouri, and coached football there 2 years, and then went to OU to get my master's. But I had GI Bill, so that gave me how to get that. And then I came to Tulsa football coach in 1959.
But you and Nana both have master's degrees.
Yes.
And then you were on the track to go get your PhD?
Yes.
At OU?
Yes. No, at Tulsa.
University of Tulsa?
Yes.
And that's where Nana has her...
She got her degree there.
And her master's there.
Yeah. But the neat part about this whole story is 1959, when I went to Tulsa, they paid me for a year $4,600
as a school teacher.
As a school teacher and football coach.
And what high school was that at?
Yale High School.
Hell.
21st Street.
And you made $4,600 a year.
Sir. For a year.
For a whole year to teach and coach football.
Yes. So, you had 2 kids. What are you going to do?
Not eat.
Nothing. 90% of, I would say, the coaches, 90% in our school, they played golf all summer. I worked all summer. 90 at 4,600, they didn't make any money either, but they didn't have anything. And I wanted more than what they had.
Mm-hmm.
So, nobody's going to give it to you. So I worked the first summer. I picked up lumber for $5 an hour, in where the places they were building these houses. The next year,
So you're doing job site cleanup.
yes, exactly right. The next year, they asked us, because I had coached swimming at Hale also, they asked us in a residential area, swimming pool, to run the pool. And we started teaching swimming.
And that's how it started.
That's how it started. By the end of the summer, we were filling the pool from 8 o'clock in the morning until 12. That was the end of that. They would let me go to 12. And then we had to be out of there. So, had to quit swimming, teach swimming. Every day we did that. And then the next summer, we had 4 swimming pools. We rented Tulsa Public Schools indoor swimming pools.
Well, I remember growing up when I was probably Reese and Mason's age, probably around 9, 10, 11. I grew up at those pools. You had East Central, you had Metro Christian, you had Memorial High School, you had
East Central?
Yeah, I said East Central,
Yeah.
Memorial, Metro. You had multiple pools, and then you guys were teaching in private lessons. And then even at a younger age, you had one point in time, he still owns it today, they have a lake home on Lake Hudson, and you guys had a child summer camp.
That's right.
You guys had sailboats, and you had fishing boats and canoes, and you guys taught people all the life skills of being around the water. People how to sail and run trot lines and teach people to ski. It was crazy.
They got to teach these kids to do that anymore. That's like lost. You don't see that much anymore.
He'd make you paddle out there, and then you'd tip you over on the canoe and make you tip over the canoe while you're treading water, so you get
Bill's
yourself out.
character.
Yeah.
Bill's character.
Build character,
Yeah.
right?
So he started businesses from a young age, built it up. Like many of you all watching this is what we continue to preach and continue to tell you guys. And it's Eric and I's story too. When you grow up with where you don't want to be, right? And you recognize, hey, I feel like I can do better for myself. It doesn't matter where you're at. Larry right here started out $4,600 as a school teacher. You don't get much with 3 kids. Yeah. Eric, none of us were rich. When you recognize that you want more, you're going to have to put in the effort. You're going to have to put in the dedication. You're going to have to focus. And like he said, at the time, you look back on it. At the time, you feel like life is horrible and it's misery and you're just tired and you're ready to drag it up. But at 91 years old, you said it a second ago, looking back on it, you wouldn't probably change anything. No. And it probably wasn't as hard as you... Probably looking back on it, it was not near as hard as what it seemed at the time.
I have that non-quit attitude, and I know we talked about it before, and you have to have that, and you got to have thick skin and a non-quit attitude to get to that next level. And, you proved the point, right? And you started young, and you didn't have nothing given to you, and you worked hard, and you took risk over and over and over, right? And
but I'll tell you, Eric, I'm going to tell you something. I have a good wife. I have an unbelievable wife. We've been married 70 years.
That's incredible.
And she is the sweetest thing.
She's great.
My wife, 6 years ago, got cancer. I saw her lay on that sofa. She had lymphoma here, and it jumped to her leg, and you just don't know what it does to you. And I saw her lay on that sofa day after day. And then we'll go take that chemo. Chemo wasn't as bad as, what do you call that?
Radiation.
Radiation. It burned her back bad. And you see her every day. She came in the dinner table one day and shaking like that. And she was taking morphine. She said, I'm going to get off of this. And she didn't take any more.
Well, appreciate you having you on. This is probably one of the more special ones that we'll probably ever have on the show to me. And hopefully Eric will get somebody that's special to you on here too. But folks, at 91 years old, you can still continue to do it. Get it in your blood, go all in, have fun with it. He's a great testament of if you continue to push, you can get where you want to go.
I like it. Go all in.
So
thanks for watching.